Hey guys, spooky season is here, and in the spirit of Halloween, I decided to make Coraline dolls of me and Eden's Garden ASMR. She mentioned to me that she wanted one, and I wanted to make it myself because I knew that was the only way I'd be happy with the final product. Follow along to see how I did it. So the first thing I did was I measured kind of how long I needed my wire to be. I just drew a picture of what I wanted the doll to look like and then mapped out the wire with all of the the arms and legs and stuff and twisted it to just give it some more structure. And while I was doing this, I kept putting the doll dress on the actual skeleton of the doll to make sure that it was going to be the right size. The longest part for this project was probably sculpting the face. The polymer clay not for my doll. The polymer clay that I used for my doll was not good. I will not link that one, but the one I used for the hands and the feet and Eden's doll was way easier to work with and smooth out. I'm not sure what the difference in the clay was, but this one was softer and harder to work with. But before you do any of the actual features, stick the button eyes onto the doll just so you know where they're gonna go and there's an impression of them on the doll so that you can stick the buttons into them after the clay is baked. The hands definitely took a bit. I would give yourself a lot of time to perfect them. Because the doll is made of wire, it is movable, and so people are going to be interacting with the hands and the feet quite a bit just because the wire frame of the doll does make it posable and malleable. So make sure that you take your time on all the little details. So at this point I have the first head done, all the piercings, the stitching, the hands, and now I'm going to film how I did the shoes because I totally didn't film how I did the hands, so sorry. I have a link, another tutorial down below of someone who I took inspiration from when making these. For the piercings and the stitches, I used this random jewelry wire, I guess it is, that I had lying around. It's pretty thin. I just cut maybe a centimeter of it or half an inch and then just bend it into a hoop shape with my jewelry pliers, and I just stick it into the modeling clay. So yeah, I'll show you how I do the shoes. In this part of the video, I'm making my shoes, and they're just little simple Mary Janes. Basically, I just roll out a ball about the approximate size of the shoe. Make sure you do them both at the same time so you don't end up with one shoe that's bigger or differently shaped than the other. And I did end up rolling out the ankles separately and just sticking them on just so I could have a good handle on making them both exactly the same. And for the hole in the shoe, I did cut that part out and then added on a piece of clay for the strap. You can see I'm kind of showing you there what it looks like. And then this is what I mentioned before. I just took a teeny tiny piece of that wire and bend it into a staple shape and stick it into the side of the strap to make a little buckle for the shoe. And of course the sole of the shoe is just one long rolled out piece of polymer clay that I stuck to the side and then put little divots in with an X-Acto knife to make it look like it had grooves on a real shoe. So this is where I stopped for that day. I finished my doll and put on the hands and the shoes to the frame and the head, and then it was time to do Eden's. So first I did her shoes, which were my favorite part of this entire project because she wears platform demonias or platform docks. And I love all the little details and the buckles that I added to them because she's just so good at accessorizing, and I really wanted to make sure I got all her piercings and her accessories and her nose ring even. I really wanted to make sure I made all of that accurate because I know how picky she is. Let me show you the little shoes. Yeah, as you can see, I was really excited about the shoes, so after that was done and all put on the frame, I put both of the dolls onto a baking tray. And after it was baked in the oven at 275 degrees for like 15-ish minutes, I glued on these like fabric pieces to the torso of the doll and the legs. I honestly should have put more, so if you're gonna do this, put a lot more fabric than I did to like beef up the body, because you're gonna need to use a lot of yarn to wrap around the body a gazillion times until you can no longer see that fabric, just to make the frame, just to cover up the frame of the wire and the skeleton and make it look like she actually has like arms and legs instead of just like wire.
Hi cuties, it's another day. I finished wrapping this one. It looks pretty good if I do say so myself. So the next step is to paint them. And if you plan on gifting these to somebody, I just picked up some extra shoe boxes from Journeys, because a lot of the time they just have them like sitting in the back, and if you're lucky, they'll give you a few. So I got a couple of shoe boxes that I'm going to wrap in some really cute wrapping paper that I ordered, and make it a little gift box. So yeah, let's move on to the painting.
So I used just regular acrylic paint that I had lying around my house. You don't have to get any like expensive, like really nice acrylic paint or anything, because I found it adheres really well to the polymer clay and I didn't have any issues with it chipping or cracking or anything like that. So I just gave myself a little bit of white, red, yellow, green, and I think purple, just a little bit, because those colors mixed together give you pretty much every skin color shade you could possibly need. And honestly, painting the skin colors and getting them right was pretty daunting, so I just gave myself some black paint and did the shoes first. These ones were the Mary Janes on my doll. In the background you can see I didn't start Eden's yet because I was really scared about getting it accurate and making sure the paint worked on the polymer clay, so it was all just one big experiment, honestly. And of course, I forgot to film the entire painting process of Eden's doll, but this is it pretty much done. I did her little shoes. I did end up accidentally painting a lot of the wire, but I went back over it with some silver paint to make sure the buckles on her shoes and my shoes stood out from the black paint. It's honestly so hard to get those details and get in between all that jewelry. But I did remember after I finished Eden's to paint on my eyebrows and film it for you guys. So here's me working on my eyebrows. I honestly wasn't too worried about making these even because my eyebrows on my face in real life look more like cousins, like not even sisters, definitely not twins. So they didn't really have to look even on myself. So the hair definitely took the longest. What I did was I just cut out short strips of it about the width of the head of the doll, and then slip knotted strands of hair onto that strand like a weft. So I just made like a bunch of wefts of hair with the yarn basically, and it's really hard to explain and I didn't end up filming that very well, but I think the tutorial that I link in my description will give you a bit of a better explanation, because I definitely took inspiration from that tutorial, especially when doing the hair on these dolls. And I totally forgot to say this when I was painting, but paint the back of the head the color that you're going to make the hair, because the skin color will show through the hair, and if you just paint the back of the head black, or like the hair color, like on a regular doll, it will not show. So there are the dolls of it very creepily staring at you while I show you how I do the webs of hair. I just cut a bunch of pieces of hair the same length. Keep in mind that you're gonna fold these pieces of hair in half so you need them to be double the length of the hair. I know I'm really not explaining this well, and I'm so sorry. But hopefully you can see what I did with it in the video. So there's the first little doll done. She looks just like me, don't you think? But I chose a green dress for my doll because Eden's dress is going to be pink, because I modeled the clothing for her doll after some of her Instagram photos where she was dressed up as a little pink doll. So now our dolls get to match. Here's the gift box I was talking about. I just wrapped it and wrapped the lid separately so that you could still close the gift box and keep it to maybe store the doll in it if you didn't want to have it out all the time. I just ordered this like green and pink themed wrapping paper and tissue paper on Amazon so that the green and pink colors would like go with our dolls. I put a bunch of crumpled up tissue paper into the box to pad it, so to give the doll like a comfy little bed. And yeah, I put all her accessories in there. I think I included like a bunny rabbit, and I included a lot more accessories for Eden's doll because I know she likes to have options, especially with the doll clothes. But yeah, I just crumpled up a bunch of this green tissue paper and wrapped it around her accessories to give it a lot of padding and protection in case these boxes got jostled in transport. And then I took a little bit of a break from finishing Eden's doll because it took me a long time to twist all of the yarn hair. But this was 2 nights before I was gonna go see her. I was like, oh, I really have to finish this doll because I want her to have it as soon as possible. So I spent all night staying up, gluing on her hair. So I got this little doll-sized sewing machine because Coraline, duh, it's so cute, so cute. I put that in there and the bag of her extra clothing because I got her a change of doll clothes. Then I put in the doll stand so that she can stand up her doll if she would like. And of course for her I used pink tissue paper instead of green because her little doll dress is green. And I just crumpled up a bunch of that and put it into the box to give her a cozy little bed, just like for my doll. Eden and I both really like bunnies, so I got her this little stuffed bunny, and I also have a matching one for my doll. Of course, then I tied up the boxes with a little bows and ribbon that I just had lying around the house, and I was so excited to give them to her.
You videotaped me. Oh wow. This is so pretty, babe. What the hell? You need to sell these. Wow.
That one is me.
This is so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Oh. 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 This has our little blonde streak. The shoes are cute too. These are such cute shoe choices. Thank you, Stinky. So cute. I want to give it a little hat.
She has a hat.
Really? Wait, where?
So as I predicted, Eden did want to use the change of clothes that I provided for her doll, which I knew she would, so I'm glad I got some extra clothes. think I'm gonna get extra clothes for my doll too, just to give us some options. Growing up, Coraline was always a very special movie to me because I really loved Halloween, and Halloween was a super big deal in my family, and I love Leica Studios. I'm so inspired by all of their work, and I really hope one day to work there because it is my favorite studio of all time. I really admire them for keeping the art of stop motion animation alive. When I was in high school, I made my very first stop motion animation. It was papermation, but making these dolls was an extremely nostalgic and just amazing experience. And that is it for the tutorial, guys. I hope you learned something. I hope you go out and make your own Coraline dolls. If you do, please tag me because I want to see them. And have a really happy Halloween. I will see you in the next video. Bye!